Here's a question. Is Kansas City entering into one of its most transformative periods in its history? And how is that going to shape how people live, work, and move around the metro? Well, look, if you're thinking about relocating, investing, or buying before the next wave hits, then this video matters. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the projects that are proposed and those that are underway, and the ones also, though, that are putting Kansas City on the global stage in 2026. Hey, if we haven't met before, my name is Chris Pucci, and I help people just like you make a smooth transition into the Kansas City market. In addition to that, I post videos just like this, sharing everything there is about Kansas City. So, if you want to learn more about Kansas City, subscribe to the channel by simply tapping on the bell. And if you are looking to relocate to Kansas City, let me help you make that smooth transition to Kansas City and find that perfect home for you. So, with all that being said, let's talk about our first economic impact and how it's going to shape Kansas City. So first on the list is going to be the KC Streetcar and Riverfront Transit. Now look, Kansas City Streetcar, it's the backbone of downtown growth, and it's expanding in a big way. Originally, the KC Streetcar simply ran 2.2 miles. It connected the River Market, which is just north of downtown, through downtown and into the crossroads. But now here's where the real transformation is beginning. The Main Street extension is going to add 3.5 miles, stretching the system from south of the crossroads all the way through UMKC, and this is going to open up the Midtown, Westport, and the Plaza areas, as well as some of Kansas City's most in-demand neighborhoods. On top of that, the Riverfront extension is going to add approximately 3/4 of a mile, directly connecting the River Market to the Barclay Riverfront Park, as well as major riverfront developments. So, when all the phases are complete, the Kansas City streetcar system will have grown from just 2 miles to a total of 6 miles. And that's why developers are following the tracks. So, when all said and done, the streetcar capital investment will total between $400 to $500 million. Private development impact, developers have already invested $8 billion in areas that are tied to the streetcars. When I say $8 billion in private development, I'm talking about developers who spent $8 billion building apartment complexes, offices, hotels, and retails, because the streetcar exists, not the other way around. And so why does this matter? Well, look, if you're thinking about moving here, that level of private investment is a signal. It's telling you where the demand is going, where the infrastructure already is in place, and where the long-term value tends to hold up. Here's the thing. In most cities, transit reacts to growth. However, in Kansas City, growth is being built around the streetcar. Speaking of the riverfront developments, next on our list, we're going to talk about the riverfront, because the riverfront has long been overlooked. However, it has now become one of the most valuable pieces of real estate in the Kansas City metro. Coming online is the current landing. Now, this is an exciting new mixed-use destination that's going to be located right on the Kansas City riverfront. It's slated to open in the spring of 2026. It's going to add entertainment venues, residential space, as well as dining opportunities. All of it's going to be located next to the Kansas City's current CPKC Stadium, which is going to act as the anchor. Now, the CPKC Stadium stands for the Canadian Pacific Kansas City Railway. In 2023, the Canadian Pacific Railway and the Kansas City Southern Railway, they merged to form the Canadian Pacific Kansas City Railway. This created the first single-line railroad connecting Canada, US, and Mexico. Now, what makes, though, the CPKC Stadium so unique is it's the first stadium in the world built specifically for a women's soccer team, and it's situated right on the southern bank of the Missouri River, and it's home to the Kansas City Current, which is our women's professional soccer team. So what's going to be the economic impact, and why does all of this matter? Well, in terms of dollars, it means approximately $1 billion will be invested in the riverfront development. And in terms of development, one, it means jobs. But more importantly, it's going to create a vibrant riverfront node which connects sports, entertainment, housing, as well as enhancing downtown appeal and tourism. This development is also going to have, though, a ripple effect on the downtown area and areas surrounding the riverfront. And it's more specifically, though, it's going to lift the property values of downtown. This is Kansas City's way of monetizing its riverfront for the first time at any kind of scale. So by the way, if you are a resident of Kansas City or you've previously lived in Kansas City, I'd love to get your take. Simply leave your comments in the comments section below. So now I want to talk about two Urbancore developments. One that's going to take place in downtown, the other that's going to take place in the area of 18th and Vine. So let's start with the downtown project, and that is the Barney Alice Plaza revamp. Now, this isn't just going to be a cosmetic facelift. This is more about reimagining one of downtown's most important public spaces. The Barney Alice Plaza, it sits between the convention center, the downtown hotels, office towers, as well as the Power and Light District. For years, though, it's really functioned more like a concrete lid as opposed to a gathering place. So the proposed changes include replacing the hard concrete with green space, creating better pedestrian flow with event-friendly areas, and creating a safer, more inviting street-level experience. When all said and done, the public and private investment combined will be around $150 million. It will create higher convention attendance and longer visitor stays, improve traffic for nearby restaurants and hotels, as well as improve downtown hotel performance and, more importantly, tax revenues. The other project happens to do with the 18th and Vine District. It's going to include the 19 Vines Phase 2. It's going to include the 19 Vine Phase 2 and the expansion of the Negro League Baseball Museum plus hotel. These two projects are going to bring housing, retail, and daily foot traffic to one of Kansas City's most culturally significant districts. 18th and Vine District is nationally recognized, historically important, but has been long underutilized economically. And the object of these projects is to add modern housing where people actually live full time, introduce ground floor retail as well as restaurants, and create consistent everyday foot traffic, not just event traffic. The estimated impact for the One Vine project will be between $200 to $250 million in new development. It's going to include residential units, new jobs in the retail, hospitality, and property management industries, as well as increased surrounding property values. Now, in terms of the Negro League Baseball Museum and Hotel, this is more about cultural preservation as well as economic development. The plan includes expanding the museum's footprint, enhancing the exhibits, and increasing the educational programming. The new hotel is going to be located in the 18th and Vine District, so it's going to make it very walkable to the different venues. The goal here is to capture tourism dollars that are currently being lost to other neighborhoods. The overall total investment for the expansion of the museum and the hotel, $120 to $150 million. Again, the goal here is it's going to create new permanent jobs. It's going to increase hotel sales as well as tourism tax revenue. But most importantly, it's going to increase the national as well as international visibility of the 18th and Vine District. Combined, the total Urbancore impact is going to be between $450 to $550 million. This next economic impact was just recently announced, and that has to do with the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs just agreed to build a dome stadium with a mixed-use entertainment district, as well as a new team headquarters and training facility and a mixed-use development in the state of Kansas. That's right, the Kansas City Chiefs are moving across the state line to the Kansas side of the metropolitan area. This project will be a massive economic win for the state of Kansas. The construction phase alone will create over 20,000 jobs and $4.4 billion in economic impact. From there, the stadium will bring over $1 billion in annual impact. Now, the agreement itself includes two distinct parts. A $3 billion stadium in Wyandotte County, which will open at the start of the 2031 NFL season, and the second part includes a new Chiefs headquarters as well as training facility in the city of Olathe, which is located in Johnson County. Both sites will have mixed-use developments that could include sports, entertaining, dining, shopping, office, hotel, as well as residential properties. The stadium itself is going to feature a 65,000-seat domed enclosed stadium. It's going to hold the Chiefs' regular season games and playoff games, Super Bowls, Final Fours, major concerts, as well as large events. And as far as the Chiefs' headquarters and training complex, that's going to be, as I mentioned, situated in Olathe, Kansas. And it will be more of a campus-style development that's going to support the team's operations year-round. It's probably going to include office space, practice fields, as well as mixed-use amenities. As I mentioned earlier, the long-term ongoing impact is expected to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 billion annually. And in terms of permanent jobs, they anticipate 4,000 permanent jobs will be created once the stadium and the surrounding districts are fully operational. Next, I want to talk about the industrial and high-tech megaprojects that are scheduled to take place here in the Kansas City metro. These two projects, they're going to have a significant impact on the Kansas City area for years to come. I'm talking about the Port KC's Project Mica Data Hub Complex and the Panasonic EV battery plant in DeSoto, Kansas. Combined, these two mega projects total an estimated $14 to $18 billion. So, what is Project Mica? Project Mica is a massive multi-phase data center campus planned on land that's controlled by the Port KC in the Northland. Estimated investment, $10 to $12 billion. Now, this isn't just one building, but rather it's an entire digital infrastructure ecosystem, including hyperscale data centers, redundant power generation plants, fiber and network infrastructure, and long-term industrial land absorption. Why was Kansas City chosen? Because of its central location, strong fiber backbone, reliable power access, as well as lower operating costs when you compare it to other major metropolitan areas and coastal markets. What does this mean in terms of job creation? Well, during the construction phase, it's going to create 6,000 to 8,000 construction jobs over multiple phases. And we're talking about skills such as electricians, engineers, and HVAC specialists. In terms of permanent jobs, 1,000 to 1,500 high-wage tech and infrastructure jobs. These include roles for network engineers, data operations managers, cybersecurity, as well as power and cooling specialists. And the wages? The average salaries will be well above the metro averages. In addition, though, it will also create significant secondary jobs in areas such as professional services, logistics, maintenance, as well as security. So why is this a game changer? It's a game changer because data centers don't come and go. Once they're built, they anchor an economy for decades. They're going to offer a massive stable tax base. It's going to position Kansas City as a national tech infrastructure hub, and it's going to attract additional corporate and cloud investments. Look, this is the kind of project that quietly reshapes the metro's income profile without the flashy headlines. Next, we have the Panasonic EV battery plant in DeSoto. It is one of the largest manufacturing investments in Kansas history. The facility is going to produce advanced lithium-ion batteries, primarily for electric vehicles, and will feed the North American EV supply chain. When it's fully operational, it's going to create 4,000 plus direct jobs. Roles such as engineers, technicians, automation specialists, quality control, as well as management. And in terms of wages, manufacturing wages will be well above regional norms. And it will also offer strong benefits as well as further career opportunities. And in terms of indirect jobs, 1,000 more jobs will be created for suppliers, logistics, construction, equipment maintenance, as well as local services. The economic impact, $4 to $5 billion. It's going to expand, more importantly though, Kansas City's role in advanced manufacturing, clean energy, as well as EV supply chains. In addition, it's going to strengthen the regional tax base without residential sprawl. So, this is the kind of capital that permanently changes a region's wage base. And here's why that matters. First of all, it creates high-paying long-term jobs. It raises the median incomes. It increases home buying power. It supports better schools, infrastructure, as well as services. And more importantly, it makes the region more resilient in downturns. So look, do me a favor. If you like what you've seen so far, please feel free to share it with your friends. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Now, next up, not quite to the same scale as the Megaprojects, but it's just important in its own way. And that happens to be the Merriam Grand Station, which is located on the Kansas side of the KC metro area in Johnson County. When it's done, the estimated investment is going to be between 100 and 120 million. It is a mixed-use suburban redevelopment project. It will consist of retail, apartments with walkability incorporated into the area, and it's going to be anchored by a Trader's Joe. This particular project is located on the northwest corner of I-35 and Shawnee Mission Parkway, just minutes from downtown, the Plaza, Overland Park, Prairie Village, as well as Lenexa. This is one of the most centrally located redevelopment projects in Johnson County, with immediate access to the highway as well as strong traffic counts. So when it's all said and done, Merriam Grand Station will be a complete reimagining of downtown Merriam, turning an auto-oriented area into a walkable mixed-use suburb. The scope of the project includes modern apartment communities, ground floor retail as well as restaurants, public gathering spaces, pedestrian-friendly streetscapes with structured parking. The goal is quite simple. Create a place where people can live, shop, dine, and socialize without always having to get in the car every time. But why does this matter for Johnson County? Well, this project is significant because it signals a shift in how Johnson County wants to grow. They want to create less sprawl, more walkability, more infill redevelopment, and create stronger suburban downtowns. Merriam Grand Station shows where Johnson County is headed. Modern, walkable suburbs that attract residents, retailers, and offers long-term demand. Last but not least, and perhaps the most exciting of all the different economic events that are going to take place in 2026 is the 2026 FIFA World Cup. That's right, in 2026, Kansas City steps on the world stage as an FIFA World Cup host cities. Matches, they'll be played right here in Arrowhead Stadium, bringing hundreds of thousands of visitors and an estimated $600 million to over $1 billion economic impact. But the real value isn't just the games. It's the infrastructure upgrades, the global exposure, and the long-term tourism boost that comes with being seen by billions of people worldwide. For Kansas City, this isn't just an event, it's a statement. The World Cup is one of the largest short-term economic events in Kansas City history. It's also a long-term branding win, and it's a catalyst that stacks on top of the Streetcar expansion, the Riverfront growth, the stadium development, as well as tech and urban manufacturing investments and Urbancore redevelopment projects. Conservatively, local estimates for the economic impact, as we mentioned, is 600 to 1 billion. Visitors, 400 to 500,000 plus. It will create temporary jobs, approximately 4 to 6,000 of those. And in terms of hotel occupancy, hotels expect to be 100% occupied for weeks, and perhaps more importantly, global viewership. Over 1 billion people worldwide will see Kansas City. Now, this is a part, though, that most people miss. Kansas City will be broadcast to billions of viewers, featured alongside global cities like London and Paris, New York, and LA. And for Kansas City, this means increased tourism long after 2026, corporate relocation and visibility, and validation as a global event-capable metro. Look, global events don't just bring visitors, they permanently change how your city is perceived. The World Cup raises international awareness. It strengthens demand for downtown and hotel-adjacent housing. It supports long-term tourism growth, and it signals confidence to investors and employers. So when you add it all up, the infrastructure, the tech, the sports, the culture, the global events, Kansas City has between $25 to $30 billion tied up in economic activity in this cycle. That's why people are relocating to Kansas City. That's why employers are looking at relocating to Kansas City. That's why builders are buying land now, And more importantly, that's why the smartest buyers don't wait until the headlines catch up. So look, if you have any questions or you want to learn a little bit more, leave your comments in the comment section below, or better yet, set up a time where we can talk. You can get a hold of me by text, email, phone, or better yet, schedule a Zoom call so we really got a chance to get to know one another. And at the end of the conversation, you decide for yourself if we have any further conversations after that. Do me a favor, like the video and share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You'll be first to know about all the great things that are taking place in the Kansas City market. One last thing. In addition to being a realtor, I am also a lender, have been for over 15 years. And I would be an invaluable resource when it comes to the financing side of the transaction, as I can answer any questions you have, help you navigate the process as well. My clients tell me they like the fact that I offer this particular expertise. It makes the whole process easier, the communication is simpler, and they find the whole process far more enjoyable. So with all that being said, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, and until then, I look forward to showing you around the KC market.